So is it us who's racist, or is it Disney, or is it China, or what? I am Mecca, because this thing, the Mermaid movie. Oh, we watched it live. Do you guys want us to watch the Fast something live? I'll watch the Fast thing live with you. Not the Fast one, that's stupid. What's the other one? The Dungeons and Dragons one. I'll watch any of the bad ones. We'll watch them live here, so you don't have to or something. And it is so weird to hear her go from Disney voice, Disney voice, Disney voice. I got this stuff. Like, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm glad she spends most of the film not speaking, because I don't understand the point of these American Idol contest winning type of quality movie voice people. Because that's what this sounded like to me. This is why I didn't watch American Idol. I don't want to watch a bad cover of something I didn't like the first time around. Disney voice, Disney voice, Disney voice. And then nothing makes sense in this. This whole film, as somebody who barely remembers the original, right? I barely remember the original. It wasn't representing me or anything. This is very punk and I need to retouch it. That's why it's up. Wasn't for mermaid reasons. Trust me, it's not for mermaid reasons. Okay. I never wanted to be a fish. Never cared about being a mermaid. I don't want to be a princess. I want to be a rock star. I don't want to be a princess. That is not my thing. I am not hurt. My childhood is not ruined by this. I barely remember the original. I have a lot of questions with this. When you see, like, the little eels, you've got a couple of eels that the sea witch has, right? They're supposed to be, like real. They went real. They went realistic with a lot of these fish and animals. So you see them, and they turn to react to each other, but they have eyes on the side of their head, and they would not do that because they do not have the eyes on the front of their head like the Disney cartoon version. They went realistic. Same thing for that creepy dead fish, that flounder little floppy thing that... First off, she almost pulls his fins off because she's so tiny, and she grabs him, and I'm like, wait a minute, you're a grown woman. Stop doing that. Don't touch it. Then I'm looking at this one scene with this little fish boy thing, this flounder fish. And because he is a real fish, he does have eyes on the side of his head. And they slowly move forward in some shots here and there, while he's talking to the king in one of these shots, and it's so weird and creepy, and they do that many, many times. There's a lot of things in shots that are, well, we did it because it's in the original, probably. I'm guessing that they had that reaction shot of the eels where they looked at each other and the fish has to look at the king dead on, and because they went real, it bothers me, and I notice it because I know their eyes are not making eye contact, and it sticks out like a sore thumb. She's singing exactly like I remember the original in my head from when I was really a little kid, and I think I heard it once. I probably watched the movie one time. But it sounds like she's just doing a heartless note-for-note recreation. It's like when you get a teenage kid coming in and they learn a guitar solo note for note for note for note for note from somebody, right? Instead of learning the basic scales to put a song or a solo together themselves to kind of feel their way through it and to develop their own voice and their own signature and their own sound, because it sticks out like a sore thumb. She goes from Disney voice to her accent, which is not a Disney voice matching accent. Disney, they did the same thing with Reva. Had Reva Con. Now admit you're a spy, like a British imperial-y sort of thing, instead of the way she delivered the line, like a Muppet. Admit you're a spy. There are some people that they like to cast in these things, that they only want to cast for reasons only to use that word to yell at the viewing audience for negative publicity, for negative marketing, for this negative PR thing. And it drives me nuts. I mean, she's got a beautiful singing voice when she doesn't mean a damn thing she's singing. No. That's the problem. She doesn't care about any of it. She's not emoting. I don't believe she's even heard of the surface. I don't believe she knows what anything is. I don't believe she's even met that fish or that bird. That bird would have drowned. That bird's underwater for like a half an hour. They add in the line, I gotta go to the surface to get some water or to get some air. Squawk, 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 and a squawk, 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 and a squawk, 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 and a bah, 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 bah. Mama, hoo-ha, hoo-ha, hoo-ha. Mommy, what's a hoo-ha? I don't know. I'll tell you when you're older. Some woman had a little young person in front of the stage at Marcy Playground yesterday. I wonder if she's got to explain what sex and candy is to him. Yeah, you want to... If you got to explain the stank of the activity in the room to your... Maybe don't bring them to that show. Then again, I mean, maybe Rancid would have been a better choice than Marcy Playground. Disney voice. So the Disney voice stuff doesn't match. She gets off the... They catch her in the net, and she can't walk or talk. So they throw her in the kitchen. I'm not making this up. And I'm like, oh, they would put her in a home. They would put her in an asylum. If she can't talk or walk, they're not going to clean her up and princess her up. In this, I guess maybe because I'm not the Disney audience, I overthink the Disney stuff. I overthink and I over-evaluate and I psychoanalyze and I make reason and I try and make logic out of things. And now I forgot what I was talking about. So, yay, hard edit there. Thanks so much. This is just not a good movie. It's not a fun sit. It's not a fun watch. It's not a fun thing to sit there and be entertained. It's not entertaining. It's too long. You're going to have your kids there watching this. Why? They have the original. Why can't they watch that? Like, what? Do you really need to drag your kid, who probably can't behave anyway in public? I mean, you already, like, people, seriously, you got all these parents who already don't know what their kids are learning in schools. So that's another topic for another day, and I really don't care. So, yeah, so this movie, I don't recommend needing this one to exist. It adds nothing to the original. The songs that are new, like the... That one sticks out like a sore thumb. The actress, when like the 2 lines she actually has in the thing, she can't deliver. Be glad she can't speak for most of this movie. And, I'm not gonna recommend this one, but if you want to watch us watch this live through the crystal ball, through the power of psychic stuff, because nobody sailed any high seas for anything. Why would you? Oh, that's the other thing. The ships are coming. No, the storms are coming. As the storm's already there. The storm is there. The storm came. The storm is a storming, and you might want to, I don't know, be better sailors than a bunch of boat a-holes. And we're back to boat a-holes. Thank you, Disney. Back to the boat a-holes. And this is one of the worst movies I've ever sat through. I guess that's not true. I actually finished it, so it's not that bad, I suppose. But it's a movie I remember not liking to begin with. Because it had some serious flaws to begin with. Like, why if the mermaid... Oh! Yeah. Why if the mermaid... First off, why if the mermaid could just live on the land because her father said so in the first place. Why doesn't he make it so that she could go back and forth like in Splash? They ripped off Splash too. They ripped off the Bloomingdale sequence in Splash for this one. I don't think that was in the original of this, according to what Rob said, because he saw the original probably more recently than I had. I don't remember much of the original. I remember not liking it, though. I remember not liking it that much because it was so corny and implausible. It makes me question, wait a minute, why? And it does that more in this new version because the wait a minute whys turn into wait a minute, and then and they changed it on top of, right? Wait a minute, these two electric eels are looking at each other, but they have the eyes on the side of their head. The storms are coming, and the boat a-holes are getting stormed on, and this movie is not doing well. I don't care about political correctness. They didn't cast her for the color of her skin, in my opinion. They cast her not for diversity, not for representation, because she could hit every single note for note, and they had gotten criticized so this has nothing to do with it. This is taking down the curtain. The curtain's already down. The curtain's been down for a while. This has nothing to do with racism or anything. That's the only thing that they're using to market it for. They're saying you're an istinophobe to market this. Because as you recall, when I did originally these videos on this, nobody was saying they had a problem with a quote-unquote black mermaid until you would go to Twitter and see these people saying people are racist, people have a problem with it, people would be mad, people are this, and it was just people saying people were mad. And there was no actual proof of that. There was nothing until about a couple months after, until the second time they did that. And then people started going with that, and this is why it needs to be this. And I really hate that argument too, because that's such lowbrow responses. That's such an NPC response, isn't it? To tell me why she needs to be a certain... I don't care. It's a fakey McFakesville thing. It doesn't have to be a thing about a thing. Change it. Make up something new. And they didn't really do that too much. It's like, I don't care what it has to be, you know what? And that's another problem with a lot of this. They bank too much on the original. They're relying too much on the original instead of just doing a new mermaid movie or figuring out a new stupid fairy fake thing. Why don't you do the little fairy and have some fairy freaking thing or something? I don't know. I don't know enough about what the Disney princess things are. But they've got to have some that they haven't tapped into yet. They're going to have some corner of the globe or planet or ethnic group to add to their little diversity cornucopia rainbow, one of every color of the world Disney princess lineup as it is. You know, and that's not even the point. The point is that's how they market it. They chose her because she can hit every single note of every single song absolutely perfectly, just like an American Idol contestant. And that is the biggest problem with this soulless copy and paste, thing for thing, line for line recreation. And that's one of my issues with ChatGPT. That's one of my issues with the entire internet community as a whole, especially with the people who want to go and tell me why elves need to be white or Lord of the Rings people need to be a certain color or the mermaids need... I don't have time for that. I don't have time for the NPC argument. If you have a new point, make it! I am Mecca, making all the new points, you know? And people were going to be mad about that regardless. So, love me and subscribe or not. I don't know.